to TechTalk, a video series about how to create a smarter workplace using technology. In this episode, we discuss the 3 things you need to know prior to making a video wall investment. So grab a cup of coffee and let's take 5.
So, when a business decides they want to distribute a message to many people, they generally look at some form of digital display. Now that display can be in the form of a television, monitor, website. Generally, if they want it on premise, you're looking at a display of some sort, like a big screen TV. And sometimes you want to look at what's going to create a big impact, what's going to catch people's eye, attention. The bigger the screen, obviously, the more impact it's going to have. I've seen people not only use it for digital signage when they're welcoming people in the room or into the space or into their building, but using it as also an auxiliary meeting space. They have an all-company meeting. We do it out in the lobby where we got a whole bunch of open space, nice big open. We got a big screen we can show everything on. Multiple uses for that screen. I've also seen people use it where they'll like loan the room out or lease the room out for auxiliary companies or functions to happen, and that's the backdrop. And so either way, you have to look at what is it going to do to help you get your message across, what are the benefits of having that larger screen. The costs, obviously the LED panels or LED array is going to be probably the most expensive, but those costs are coming down considering what they are, especially with the ultra fine pitch versions of them where you can get up closer to the screen and it still looks good. The next one in cost wise is your arrayed LCD panels or the classical video wall TVs all butted up to each other. That you have lines in the middle that you have to deal with, and depending on the size of those, that framing or mullions will vary the cost, but that cost is still pretty high. Then you have video projection, which in itself is kind of costly, and if you're going to go with a brighter screen, the cost for that projector is going to be up there quite a ways. So you have to look at what's best for your space, what's best for the image that you're trying to produce, and what's the content you're going to be putting on it. So with any sign or display that you're going to put out there for either employees or the public to view, you have to look at what are you going to put on that sign, and how are you going to display it, and how are you going to manage it, who's going to update it, who's going to own that content. Because content is what's driving the whole reason why you're putting something out there anyway. So that being said, people that are going to manage the content, are they going to be internal folks or external folks? Where do they need to have access? Where's some of that content coming from? Is it from the internet or is it all internal off of an internal server? Is it partial, half and half? Are you bringing up web page information, or weather, or time, or things that are coming from it, information is coming from the internet, or can it be all internally driven? And then who's managing what's going where? So you have to really look and evaluate who's going to own that content and what that content is going to consist of. So again, you have to look at what is the space that you're putting this into, and what is the overall appearance that you're wanting to present. If you're okay with a basic 16:9 flat screen image and you're just putting content on that, and that content can be dynamic, it can be changing, it can be moving around, it can have different shapes and stuff on side of that canvas that you've created. That's one thing to consider. The other thing is that do I change the shape of my canvas? Do I tilt the screens at a 30 or 45 degree angle and have multiples of them if I'm doing an LCD panel? Or Do I want to do something even fancier, maybe do an LED curtain where it's more abstract, but I am getting, the pixel density is maybe not as high, so that you don't have this direct image per se, but you can maybe see through it, but you want to be able to create interest in that content that you're putting on there. You have to look at what is the thing that you want to present. How do you want to capture their attention? What is the look that you're trying to achieve? What are some of the things that you're trying to promote and display? So all of that comes into dealing with your architect and with your interior designer and your marketing folks and with the technology folks, having them all get together and work together to come up with a solution that's best going to sell your message or your product.
Well, Eric, thanks so much for talking to us about our digital screens and what we need to know before we make a video wall investment.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Can I go now?
Thanks for joining Integrated Building Systems for this episode of Tech Talk. If you have questions, need help with the project, or have suggestions for a future topic, please get in touch. We look forward to helping you communicate better by making your building smarter.